Welcome to this Friday edition of Tullahoma 6 News in HD. I'm Jamie Treadwell, and coming up, we'll tell you about the recent installment of a local memorial.
And I'm Chris Barsa. We'll also hear about an organization that is looking for a few good men.
First on 6, county commissioners have approved the 2020 fiscal year budget, and to avoid a property tax increase or implementing a new tax, such as a wheel tax, commissioners decided to dip into about $600,000 of the county's reserves. The property tax for fiscal year 20 will remain the same at $2.5819 for Tullahoma, $2.6481 for Manchester, $2.9324 for Rural, and $3.1860 for the industrial park. The decision to dip into those general fund reserves follows the county's lawsuit last year that required they pay for a $1 million settlement to former employee Melinda Keeling. Additionally, the county no longer receives funds from the organizers of the Bonnaroo Music and Arts Festival, an amount of about $250,000 per year. The total amount of the expected expenditures in fiscal year 20 is expected to be about $140,000 higher than fiscal year 19.
Discussions regarding the North Coffee Area Sewer Project, which would require Coffee County and Manchester City officials to work together, have reached a standstill. Talks about expanding the city's sewer system into the North Coffee area near I-24's exit 105 started last year when discussions about renovating North Coffee Elementary School began. After completing the school renovation, it is no longer required to tie onto the city's sewer system. Initially, talks centered on extending the city's sewer lines to the school and providing enough additional capacity to serve 2 50-room hotels and 2 convenience stores. But Manchester City has changed the direction of discussions and has expressed interest in residential development of the area as well. As part of Manchester's proposal, the city would require all residents and businesses that request sewer service in that area to annex into the city. To come up with a plan, the city and the county created a joint sewer committee.
It's kind of interesting. The Ladies Garden Club and the American Legion Post 43 in Tullahoma were both instrumental in the installation of the new Blue Star and Gold Star memorials located in History Park by the Caboose. We caught up with Alan Harris, commander of American Legion Post 43, to hear more about the memorials and what they designate. Here's Alan with more.
Actually, this is all the work of the Garden Club, the local Garden Club of America, and the local chapter here. And so I was approached by one of the ladies in the Garden Club to see if I would be interested as a member of the American Legion Post 43 of supporting something that would allow us to post a Gold Star and a Blue Star memorial in the History Park, which is down by the Caboose. Of course, this being the 100th anniversary of the American Legion, we were more than happy to lend our financial support and any kind of other support that we can to this thing. And it is going to happen. Thursday, May 30th at 1 o'clock, the public is invited to come out to see the unveiling of the 2 memorials, a Gold Star and a Blue Star memorial. Of course, the Blue Star symbolizes the efforts of all servicemen and women. Gold Star memorial symbolizes the efforts of those that have fallen during the service of our country. And so those 2 are great. There's been many in the States and indeed across the United States. Tullahoma is going to be added to the list, and we're very proud. I know the Tullahoma Mayor, Board of Mayor and Aldermen fully support it. We're very happy about that, and we look forward to seeing what this is going to be. Phase 1 is on May 30th. Phase 2 will be complete by Veterans Day. Chris, I can think of 3 immediately. One of them began when I was 16 years old. I worked at the time, called Tullahoma Drug No. 2, which is now Tullahoma Drug Store, and I worked with a lady by the name of Irma Kirkus. And many of you remember Irma, but Irma educated me on what it was like to be a Gold Star mother and what Gold Star families were all about. So I remember her telling me about her son Kenneth that passed away in Vietnam. I also go to church with a lady by the name of Elaine Huffines. Elaine lost her son about 10 years ago in Iraq. Marcus Kaczynski was killed in combat, and so we celebrate his life every year. And finally, the third person I remember is Eddie Bradford. I believe he goes by, the nameplate on the wall would be Terrell E. Bradford, but Eddie Bradford was a childhood friend of my oldest brother, and obviously a person that I looked up to because they were 4 or 5 years older than I. But I remember those three very distinctly. As a soldier, we lost several in Iraq and Afghanistan. I won't go into their names because they're not from here locally, but they're still very precious to me.
And in addition to the two memorials, there will also be an installation of a brick path. The bricks are currently for sale and can be purchased at City Hall. We spoke with Sandy Sebrin during the installation of the Blue Star and Gold Star Memorial to find out more. Here is Sandy to tell us about it.
We are standing in front of the Blue Star Memorial Marker. It is a tribute to the armed forces, veterans of in the armed forces who have defended our country. This is a long-standing tribute, goes back to World War II, and we're just excited to have this marker now in Tullahoma. At this site is where our young men and women were brought to Tullahoma to train at Camp Forest. And this is just the right place for these markers to be located. So it's an exciting day, and a lot of help has come from people all over Tullahoma. And we're looking forward to having a walkway of veterans' names done in brick pavers that go from the pad here all the way to the caboose and join the concrete there. And so if you're interested in honoring your veteran, no matter where he served, if he wore the uniform and was in the armed forces, he is a veteran. And we would love to have you join and be part of this project. Okay, it seems strange, but it is a garden club project. It was started right after World War II by the Garden Club in New Jersey, and they wanted to do something for the veterans of World War II, and out of that desire was created these memorials. And so it was brought to my attention 2 years ago, and it did take 2 years to get this together, and now it has come to be a reality. But it actually started off as a garden club. You see it on the sign, with help from the American Legion and the Historical Society of Tullahoma.
We caught up with the new city administrator, Jennifer Moody, to see how she and her family usually celebrate the Independence Day holiday and how her first holiday here in Tullahoma was. Here's Jennifer to tell us more.
For the 4th of July, probably like many families, we like to go see some fireworks on the 4th of July and be with our friends and family. And so normally, the past few years, what we've done is we've gone to a friend's neighborhood where their neighborhood has a big fireworks celebration. But this year, we're really excited to stay home in Tullahoma and go to Grider Stadium. I've heard so many good things about how this is one of the largest shows in the region. And seeing behind the scenes, I know that we've got some great bands coming, kids area, play area. Gates open at 3 o'clock and fireworks start at 9:15, and we'll be there. Oh, well, probably anything on the grill. We love to make chicken wings, pasta salad, all those good summer picnic type things. He's been in the restaurant business for a long time. Not a professional chef, but definitely the chef of our household. He loves to cook. He's always finding new recipes, watching videos about how to make different things. And so we both like to cook, but he cooks more than I do. Right now, we've mostly been having fun going out to the farmer's market. You know, we have a new farmer's market that's on Monday nights from 4 to 7. And so we already have had some sweet corn from that market on the grill. And we love taking different summer vegetables and throwing it into pasta. So that's probably my favorite thing right now. Yeah, he'll really remember it, and he gets really excited. This past year has been the age where he remembers what Christmas is, he remembers what Halloween is, so he anticipates the holidays and gets really excited about it.
Coming up next, we'll bring you a little history on the national anthem.
And we'll hear a little bit about the flag that inspired the song, so stay with us.
wanna dance?
Check out Stingray Music on TV. Now available, the new Stingray Music mobile app, free with your TV subscription. Stingray Music, all good vibes.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays, 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Welcome back to Tullahoma 6 News in HD. The Star Spangled Banner is the national anthem for the United States of Americas. But do you know how long it's been the official national anthem? Also, do you know where the music for the song comes from? Have you ever thought about how difficult it is to sing? We caught up with music educator Adam Womack to learn these interesting facts about our country's most important song. Here's Adam with more.
Well, to kind of talk about the history of it, because the history of it's kind of interesting how it came about. Everybody, most everybody knows, back in elementary school that we were taught that Francis Scott Key wrote the lyrics to the Star Spangled Banner. He wrote them on a ship during a battle during the War of 1812, and he was on a British boat the night before, and when he awoke that morning, the flag was flying over the forts for the American flag, and so he felt inspired to write the verse for that. And he went on to write 3 other verses for that song. The tune, the music to the national anthem actually came from a British drinking song 40 years prior to that. It was called To Anacreon in Heaven, which I thought was a really, really kind of neat, obscure abstract, which we've stolen a couple of songs from the British for our American songs, just like the national anthem was brought from this British piece. The tune, My Country 'Tis of Thee, it actually came from God Save the Queen, which was the British national anthem. The anthem actually started being played by some military bands during the raising and the lowering of the colors, like in the late 1890s, but it wasn't until 1916 that President Woodrow Wilson actually signed an executive order declaring it the national anthem of the United States. So that was over 100 years after it was written, and Congress didn't pass a bill until 1931 declaring it the official national anthem. So officially it's not been our anthem for even 100 years yet. Which I thought was really, really fascinating. The national anthems, it's a beautiful song, but again, it's very hard to perform, and a lot of people, there's a couple of reasons for that. The main reason is the range of the song. It has a range of an octave, for those that are musically inclined, is an octave plus another fifth above that. And because of that wide range, in most people, they make the mistake, if they don't know exactly what note they need to start on, they'll start the song too high, to where when it gets to those parts at the end, or the land of the free, that part right there, if they started that song too high and it gets out of their range, then they're basically screaming to that point just to try to hit those high notes, and so before you perform that song, you've got to prepare and know what note you're going to start with. Otherwise, you're in the tall weeds, as they say, because it's not going to be good for anybody. You talk about some bad performances. Another notable, really horrendous version of it, a guy named Carl Lewis, who was a gold medalist during the Olympics, sang it for an NBA at the beginning of an NBA final, and he is even during this, while he's singing, is saying that the song is too high, and so it's a really bad performance. Conversely, there are some beautiful renditions. Probably one of the most widely known versions, the best one, is probably Whitney Houston, who sang it during the 1991 at the beginning of the Super Bowl, and that one's probably been one of the best versions, I believe, that's been recorded.
The flag of the United States of America, with its 13 stripes and 50 stars, has had many incarnations in 243 years. Lyle Russell with Tullahoma Parks and Recreation has recreated a program, Long May It Wave, that tells a story of the flag. The program was originally created to honor Francis Bellamy, creator of the Pledge of Allegiance. Here is Lyle to tell us more.
Back when I was about 8 or so, I had just gotten into Cub Scouts, and my great-grandmother, who I was lucky enough to have several years with, she would take me to these programs that she did called Long May It Wave. And, you know, being that young, I didn't really pay that much attention to it, but after about the 50th or 60th one that I had been to with her, carrying all the stuff, and I started to pay attention and started to learn what the program was really about. And it was about the history of the U.S. flag, from basically the day it landed on our shores all the way up until today. And so when that program was lost after she passed away, I recreated it and offer it still in her memory. Well, actually, it was in a storage shed that got auctioned off. There was a person in our family who decided they weren't going to pay that bill anymore, and everything that was in it was from her house, and it included that program, so everything was gone. I found a couple just by random chance, some of the handouts that she used to give out, and so piecing together things that I remembered, and then from those handouts, I was able to put the program back together on a modern platform instead of the old carousel slide projector that she had. So it is. I mean, I would hope that she would be proud of that. If she was still here, she'd be happy to see it still going. She did. When she was very young, started with the telephone company. She came in right about the same time that Francis Bellamy also worked for the telephone company, was on his way out. And so they briefly worked together for a time, and I guess the phone company decided, the way that I remember the story is the phone company decided that in his memory, since he wrote the Pledge of Allegiance, they decided to create this program. And then when she retired, she took over administering that program, and so she did it for free all over the place. She did hundreds and hundreds of those programs. Well, I've started dragging my son to these too, so he helps me with those, and you know, maybe he'll pick up the mantle one day. Who knows? I hope he does, but it's up to him.
This week, the country celebrated its 243rd independence as a country. This year also marks the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I, the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, and on March 15th, the creation of the American Legion. Here's American Legion Post 43 Commander Alan Harris to tell us more.
The American Legion headquarters in Tullahoma doesn't have anything planned. We hope that everybody is out enjoying their families and enjoying the 4th of July celebration this weekend. This year, 2019, there's a lot of milestones going on this year, not the least of which is 243rd birthday of our nation, independence. And so we're also celebrating this year, 2019, the 100th anniversary of the birth of the American Legion. It was born in 1919. And several good things we've already accomplished, and we continue to do that throughout this year for the American Legion. Also, 75 years ago, the Allied forces landed on the beaches of Normandy to begin the liberation of France and the ultimate destruction of Nazi Germany. And then finally, 50 years ago, famous landing on the moon. And Neil Armstrong's one small step for man and one giant leap for mankind. So a lot of great things happening to these United States of America. We have grandkids coming in, and so we'll be visiting with our grandkids out of Atlanta. And we'll probably get around to seeing the fireworks, peaceful but joyous, being happy to be part of the celebration of our national life. All the time. And so, you know, what is keeping us alive today, Jamie, are the veterans of the Vietnam War. And as they cycle through, we're starting to see more veterans of the global war on terrorism, Persian Gulf type veterans. And so, yeah, we're always seeking new veterans to join our organization. To be a part of America's largest veterans organization. And our focus at the American Legion is 4 areas. We focus on the veterans and rehabilitation, having a strong defense, working with our youth to develop a full sense of what it means to be like living in America. And then finally, Americanism itself, what those kind of factors means to be an American and living here in the United States. Absolutely, call me. Area 931-581-7334. I'll say it again, 931-581-7334. Or drop by. We meet, except for June and July, we meet the fourth Tuesday of every month at 109 Northwest Atlantic Street. That's in between, you're right by the avenues. That's a great way to put it. So we meet then, and so drop by and see us or give me a call. Call any one of the members that you see walking around, and we'll be happy to talk to you about the American Legion.
This month, the Cheesecakery will be offering a summer sweets baking and decorating camp for children ages 4 to 10 on July 16th from 11 to 2 p.m. Cost is $60 per child, and for up-to-date information on the camps as well as daily flavors available for purchase, keep an eye out on the Cheesecakery Facebook page. The Cheesecakery is open from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Wednesday through Friday and from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday. For custom orders, email thecheesecakerytn@gmail.com or call 581-0875.
Just you know where I'm going for lunch. July is National Parks and Recreation Month, and Tullahoma Parks and Rec are celebrating by inviting Tennessee State Parks naturalist Randy Hedgepath to this month's Lunch and Learn on Wednesday, July 17th. Randy will talk about all the amazing state parks we have right here at our fingertips, and you'll learn about the natural wonders of the state from the ground up. The time for this month's Lunch and Learn will be 12:30 to accommodate the speaker's schedule. So to make a reservation, you need to call 455-1121, and cost to attend is $9 and includes a delicious lunch.
From now until July the 14th, tickets are still available for Sewanee Summer Music Series. The Summer Series includes the world-renowned faculty and gifted artists of the University of South. Included in the Summer Series are the Faculty Artist Series concerts, Symphonic Sundays featuring the Sewanee Symphony and Cumberland Orchestra. All concerts are held in the beautiful Gary Hall and begin at 7 p.m. To purchase tickets, go to ssmf.sewanee.edu.
Get your tickets now for the River Music Fest at Normandy Lake with Live and Let Die, the music of Paul McCartney, featuring Tony Kishman, Chase Clanton and the Vintage Vibes, and many others will also be performing that evening. Tickets are $35 and benefit the Arrowhead Ranch for Boys. The event is August the 3rd, and they're expecting a sellout. You can order tickets by going to www.arrowheadranch.net or by calling 931-857-4000.
The new light tube yard signs are in, and winning $100 just got easier. Simply call the news hotline at 571-7186 and give us your name and address, and a sign will be delivered to you each week. Our roving sign hunter goes out looking for new addresses, proudly displaying the light tube yard sign. If yours is spotted, you could be our next yard sign winner of the month.
Coming up next on Tullahoma 6 News in HD, we'll have your Friday trivia as well as your weekend weather forecast for you.
Not only the trivia and the weather, but we'll also have a look at local sports, so stay with us.
This is your internet service at 10 meg speeds. This is internet service at gigabit. No other local provider can match this level of speed. Call us today to get the world's fastest internet.
Welcome back. Well, today is National Apple Turnover Day. We've had baseball and now it's apple pie. Apple turnovers, a little cousin to the apple pie, also called hand pies because of their design makes them so portable. Apple turnovers have been around since the 17th century to make your own. Fill a small pie crust with fruit or meat and fold it in half and seal the edges and bake or fry it. And to observe it, you can make some turnovers to share with a friend or use the hashtag National Apple Turnover Day on social media. Chris, what's the trivia question for today?
Well, today is where can you buy homemade apple turnovers in Tullahoma? Dameron's Restaurant, London's, Emil's, or Tullahoma Farmers Market.
I may have to rethink that cheesecake. Let's look at the 5-day forecast.
And the thing is, all those restaurants, fantastic.
They're all fantastic. The high is going to be in the 90s, as you can see, and there's going to be 3 days worth of thunderstorms after your weekend, but after the fireworks, hopefully. So, or after the fireworks already happened, if you're going to do more fireworks. 40% chance there, and decreasing to 20% on Wednesday. Cloud coverage comes back, and hopefully the temps go down, and that is your weekend weather. Chris, what's the answer to that trivia question?
Well, you can buy homemade apple turnovers in Tullahoma at the Tullahoma Farmers Market.
That is awesome. I need to go to that. What's going on in sports?
Well, in local sports, for the first time in their professional careers, Jordan and Justice Sheffield's teams faced off against each other when the Arkansas Travelers hosted the Tulsa Drillers for a 4-game series last week. In front of an ample amount of family members, the two Tullahoma natives delivered when their respective numbers were called. Arkansas got the series win, notching 3 victories, with Tulsa scoring a victory on Friday night. Justice is currently a starting pitcher for the Travelers, tossing Game 3 of the series on Saturday. Jordan, a reliever for the Drillers, made appearances out of the bullpen on Friday and Sunday night.
That's pretty good. Justice against justice there. Well, it's Friday, and that means it's time for the catch of the week, and this Friday's catch of the week goes to Dr. Troy Hickson. Troy is standing next to a whole lot of redfish. Troy spent a couple of days enjoying the fishing at Lake Normandy. Thanks for sharing your huge catch with us, Troy. You can share your pics as well. Just send them to us at news@lighttube.net and include your name and some details like size and where you caught your trophy, and you can be our next catch of the week viewer. That's our quick look at local sports. We'll be back with a few final thoughts right after this.
This is your internet service at 10 meg speeds. This is internet service at gigabit. No other local provider can match this level of speed. Call us today to get the world's fastest internet.
Cool off at Southern Middle Tennessee's newest water park, Tullahoma's Splash Island. Fun for all ages. 3 25-foot water slides, lazy river, fun water features for toddlers, tasty food items available. All this and more, only $5 from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. or 4 to 9 p.m. Sundays 1 to 6. Join the fun at Tullahoma's Splash Island.
Before we leave you today, we'd like to thank our news team members, 93.9 The Duck, and your local newspaper, the Tullahoma News, for their help and support.
And remember, if you'd like to be a part of our news team, just call our news hotline at 571-7186 and be sure to let us know about any upcoming activity, event, or story idea, and we'll do our best to get the word out right here on Tullahoma 6 News and HD. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. Just search for TUA LightTube, where we update you on the latest news and events, and you may be our next Facebook friend of the week.
That's going to wrap it up for this Friday edition of Tullahoma 6 News and HD. As always, thank you for watching, and we hope you'll join us again on Monday.
Have a